The next session is sponsored by PNC Bank. Please welcome the Executive Vice President and Regional President of PNC Bank, Richard Devore.
Good afternoon. It's great to be at the conference again. I think I'm the first person that's standing at this podium, but I apologize in advance for that. By now, most of you know of our PNC Bank's early commitment to early childhood. We've brought up a number of speakers to the conference: 2011, Jeffrey Canada; 2013, Michelle Reed; 2014, Joel Klein. I know I missed a year, 2012, but I think you would agree that Roger Penske and his IndyCar drivers were a lot of fun. And it was an education, right? Less well publicized, but just as prominent, PNC has a strong corporate financial literacy program that includes financial education, a comprehensive school bank program, but probably most importantly, specialized products for the underserved community so that they can go away from payday lenders and check cashers. It's only natural that PNC Bank has worked so closely with our keynote speaker in a number of our markets. John Hope Bryant is a self-made businessman and a tireless crusader for financial equity. An entrepreneur, author, thought leader, philanthropist, and founder and chairman and chief executive officer of Operation Hope and Bryant Group Ventures, John is one of the nation's leading voices for financial equity. He has been an advisor to the last 3 sitting United States presidents and was appointed by President Obama in 2014 to serve on the U.S. President's Advisory Council on Financial Capability for Young Americans. John's latest book, How the Poor Can Save Capitalism, offers an immensely creative and thought-provoking solutions to our economic problems. I was fortunate to have dinner last night with others and John, and I came away feeling inspired by his incredible drive and vision for an America where everyone can prosper. Please welcome the man former President Bill Clinton called a whirlwind of ideas and action, John Hope Bryant.
Good evening. Oh, we have a problem already. You see, I'm from the black church, and I'm used to seek and respond. So I'm not really talking at you, I'm talking with you. Good evening. Good evening. Now you're all honorary black people. Some of you will get that later. The only person that never worked with was President Bill Clinton. Some of you will really get that later. His staff said he was already black. Anyway, I want to thank Sandy, who invited me here. Life's about relationships. I want to thank the board of directors and chair of the Detroit Chamber for having me here, the governor, Mayor Dugan of Detroit, all my friends, my wife who allowed me to come, Natasha Bryant, who's here, Professor Bryant. I'm not, of course, Rick. Rick, a very humble guy. You might think he's a banker. I actually just found out the most interesting thing about him. In 1975, this says a lot about somebody. In 1975, I believe at the University of Michigan, he pressed, as treasurer of student government, he pressed the university to take the $15 million in funding that the students had contributed that was commingled with all funding and investment for the university, and he forced them to divest that money from investment in South Africa in 1975. Isn't that pretty cool? And he played his own part in creating history. Now, you would never hear that from him. He wouldn't brag on himself. But it says that we're all sitting in a moment in history every day we leave our home. Newsflash, this is not a conference. This is a moment in history. You're sitting right now in a moment in history. A 1 in 100 year opportunity to change our world. But history never feels historic when you're sitting in it. It just feels like another day. It takes 20 years to sit in a moment in time, look back, and say that was a moment in history. America is not a country. She's an idea. Michigan is not a state. She is literally world history. One of the oldest states in America. One of the most interesting collection of disputes and agreements and progress and prosperity from the French to the British to the Native American Indians to African Americans and Asians, Indians, others, all coming together in this diverse place you call the state of Michigan. A history that, yes, that started on paper in 1835, I believe, but really goes back to the 1700s. 800 people actually came together in this one place that you now call Detroit, as an example. So if America's not a country, she's an idea, and Michigan is not a state, it's history, then what is this moment? And who are we? It's an opportunity, because rainbows only follow storms. You cannot have a rainbow without a storm first. And Deepak Chopra said, we're not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, which means that relationships and what you're doing in these hallways and what you're doing in these sidebar meetings and what you're doing even sitting with each other, Republicans and Democrats and rich and poor and black and white and conservative and liberal, is creating this thing we call community. But to what end? For what purpose? Is the story over or has it just begun? You'll decide that. Because whether we believe we can or whether we believe we can't, we're right. The first thing we have to do is redefine success. I think as an entrepreneur, you have to redefine a couple of things. An entrepreneur works 18 hours a day to keep from getting a job. Success is going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. I'll repeat, success is going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. You just must never, ever, 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 ever give up. And so, if I want to define America as a country and the state of Michigan as history, then what's Detroit? And some people would say, why are you picking out Detroit? There are many cities in this state. I met the great mayor of Pontiac and some of the other heroes and sheroes here. All that's true. But everything has a symbol. Detroit's, whether you like it or not, is your symbol. It's your symbol of success or failure. Dr. King, there were many people in the civil rights movement. There were thousands of heroes and sheroes. But Dr. King was a symbol. In South Africa, there were tens of thousands of people wrapped up with ANC and that movement, but Mandela became a symbol. Every movement has a face. Detroit is your face. A face for what? Hope. Let me say this. America needs you to win, Detroit. For some of you, that might not have been obvious, but I'm going to double down and say it again. America needs you to win, Detroit. You see, America's story is wrapped up in Detroit's story. Or let me put it another way. Detroit's story is America's story. Do you know that 60 years ago, you were the richest city in the world? Richer than London, richer than Paris, richer than New York. The richest city in the world, up from nothing. And all of these names we throw around, you're going to hear from Ford. We talk about Cadillac. We talk about Oldsmobile. These names were people. Individuals created these companies. Every big company was once a small one. Goldman Sachs was a guy named Goldman and a guy named Sachs. Literally. And they were in New York, and they had these small finance companies, and no one paid them any attention. And by the way, here's the definition of success, folks. Think about this when people are writing you off. First, they will ignore you. Then they will criticize you. And then when you get momentum, they will try to copy you. And then you win. First they will ignore you. Then they will criticize you. Then they will try to copy you. And then you win. Walmart was a guy named Sam Walton with a pickup truck and a storefront. UPS was a guy named Jim Casey with $100 and a bicycle. Every big company was once a small one. And we lose sort of track of the fact that this is ultimately about people. So what's it going to take for us to revitalize Pontiac and Detroit and make this city the light on the hill and make the state a role model for all other states for prosperity? Because I believe you will win again. What is it going to take? People. So the first thing we have to do is redefine success and failure around people. And what we have been doing is digging in the wrong holes. We have misdefined poverty for 50 years. It has nothing to do with money. So let's now clean that up right now. Can you please put the only slide I have up on the screen? Poverty is what I call the Hope Doctrine on poverty. Look at the right side of this slide. Half of poverty is low self-esteem and low levels of confidence. Translation, if you don't know who you are at 9 in the morning, by dinner time, somebody's going to tell you. If you don't have confidence in yourself and belief in yourself and high self-esteem, you cannot get up in the morning. You cannot go in these halls and these meetings and look somebody in the eye and say that I am somebody and I have something to offer. You can't sell yourself and you can't sell anybody anything else. If you don't have confidence in yourself, half of poverty is low self-esteem and lack of confidence. The theme at Operation Hope is this. There is a difference between being broke and being poor. Being broke is economic, but being poor is a disabling frame of mind and a depressed condition of your spirit, and you must vow never, ever, ever to be poor again. Or as my pastor would say, it's not what people call you, it's what you answer to that's important. And never, ever, ever answer out of your name. And then I added, to argue with a fool proves there are two. Low confidence and low self-esteem. That then leads into the second part of poverty. Role modeling is an environment. Why am I successful? I'm not a rocket scientist, I'm role modeling. My mother told me she loved me every day of my life. Nothing's more powerful than a child being told that he or she is loved. Everybody out here who's successful had somebody look them in the eye and tell you, you are some. That wasn't a black somebody, that wasn't a white somebody, that wasn't a Latino somebody, that wasn't an Asian somebody, that wasn't an Indian somebody, that was just some. We're all role modeling. My mother told me she loved me every day of my life, and I believed it. So I had no self-esteem problem to speak of. I have other problems, that's not one of them. My dad owned his own business for 54 years. 54 years. Met a payroll at the front door of my house, wore a suit 3 days a week. And so I had a sense of, yes, I am from my mother, and yes, I can from my father. Role modeling. What do I mean by that? In inner city communities that we care about, a lot of Detroit, a lot of the state that we're concerned about, whether it's white rural poverty or black and brown urban poverty, you see a kid, unfortunately, who wants to be, let's be straight, let's do straight talk now, a rap star, an athlete, or a drug dealer. Straight talk. Here's what I know, growing up in Compton, California, in South Central LA. There's nothing wrong with these kids. They're not dumb and they're not stupid. They are brilliant. They are modeling what they. Everybody's aspirational, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody is. But if all you see in your neighborhood as symbols of success, hold on now, are rap stars, athletes, and drug dealers, why is anybody surprised that that's who you grow up wanting to be? And what is a drug dealer, by the way, if not an illegal entrepreneur? An illegal, unethical, yes, there's a special place in hell reserved for somebody who sells death to their own community. But if you're a successful drug dealer, one thing you are not is dumb. You understand import, export, finance, marketing, wholesale, retail, customer service, security, territory, logistics. What'd you say? Avoiding risk. Unfortunately, not for long. There are no retired drug dealers. Oh, you have a sense of humor. I've been giving you good stuff all day. It's going right over your heads. The drug dealer could be Steve Jobs. Same talents, same gifts. Steve Jobs had the luck of the gene pool. Grew up in an enabling environment. What do I mean by environment? I'm gonna make this quick because I want to get through a lot of content. Basically, environment says if you hang around 9 broke people, you'll be the 10th. Now that was really funny. I don't know what happened to you. That was hilarious. Aspiration. Aspiration is a code word for hope. The most dangerous person in the world is a person with no hope. Turn on your TV tonight, look at what's going on around this country, look at Baltimore, look at Ferguson, Missouri, look at the Middle East, look what happened in Paris several months ago. It's all the same thing. Young people with too much time on their hands, no aspiration, no job, nothing to do, and no hope. And it's a problem we can solve. And the last thing is opportunity. So if you have crappy self-esteem and crappy confidence, crappy role models in a crappy environment, crappy aspiration, you will see the glasses of life as half empty, not half full. That's why kids never make it out of Detroit. They never come to this island. They never even think to come to this island. It's what they don't know that's killing them, but they think they know because they never got the memo. I'm going to get to that in a moment. By the way, the right side of this graph is wealth. It has nothing to do with money. This is you, by the way. This is everybody up. This is definitely you. Mr. Whole Foods. I mean, he's just walking, talking, calm. So he's like Buddha with money. I mean, it's just. He's just chill. Your governor speaks to this. I met with him today. Your Mayor Dugan. It's this calm sense of confidence. It's not screaming. That's all of this. I keep saying we need to make smart sexy again. We've made dumb sexy in the last 20 years. We've dumbed down and celebrated it. And now we got to make smart sexy again. And this is how you do it. High self-esteem and high confidence. Great role models in a great environment. Great aspiration, which leads to seeing opportunity everywhere. When I was, you can take the graph down, when I was 9 years old, I already told you, I grew up in Compton, California. My mother told me she loved me. My dad owned his own business, and I was Compton. And a banker came in my classroom when I was 9 years old, and he happened to be Caucasian. As far as I was concerned, he was green, the color of U.S. currency. He had on a blue suit, a white shirt, red tie, and he taught me financial literacy and home economics. And I call it the language of money. And I said to him after the second class, I said, "Sir, what do you do for a living? And how'd you get rich legally?" And I was serious. There was nobody in my neighborhood who wore suits. Nobody in my neighborhood, he was rich and he wasn't running from anybody. And he told me I'm a banker, like my friend Rick, and I finance entrepreneurs. I said, I don't know what an entrepreneur is, but I'm going to be one. And it's no miracle that I saw my dad for the first time really wear that suit. And I wanted to be just like him and just like that banker. And so I started walking differently, talking differently, acting differently, thinking differently, reimagining my life. And the next year I went to the liquor store, sold candy in my neighborhood, and I went to the liquor store owner. I said, "Sir, you're selling the wrong kind of candy." He said, "Go away, little boy. I've got a college degree." I said, "That's nice. I've got cavities." You guys are a tough audience. And so he said, what do I do to get rid of you? And I said, "Hire me." He said, "Great, work at the counter. It's the best job I've got." I said, "No, I want to work in the back." He said, "That's the worst job. That's the one I want." I worked as a box boy so I could learn wholesale retail. I learned what he was selling, what wasn't, what his inventory was. I didn't want the glamour, I wanted the research. Then I quit 3 weeks in because I wasn't looking for a career. I went home after that and said to my mother, I want to start a business. I said, I need $40. She said, well, this is a loan because life is not free. We went to Ira's food store where I bought the inventory, came home, ate through half through the candy, hate candy to this day. Sold the other half, had enough money to go back and buy a new set of inventory, came back and made $300 a week when I was 10 years old. $300 a week, 39 years ago. Do the math. It's about $1,000 a week today legally, and put the liquor store out of the candy business. Do you have any idea what it did to my self-esteem at 10 years of age to put the liquor store out of the candy business? I mean, essentially, I was made that moment. And that's the story of Detroit. That's the story of every underserved community in this country. Little nodes of brilliant opportunity waiting to be unveiled. The book is entitled How the Poor Can Save Capitalism. It's the only best-selling book in the world on economics by a black man. But it's not, I said the title of the book was How the Poor Can Save Capitalism because I really wanted to say how the poor are already saving capitalism, but nobody would buy it. Here are the facts. I'm going to run through these really quickly. We don't have a lot of time. You have 7 billion people in the world. 5 billion of those people never got what I call the memo. Get to that in a moment. 7 billion people in the world. Largest economy in the world, half of those in Gallup tell you today is China. That's wrong. That's nothing but fear. It's the US, $17 trillion. You put most large economies inside of our economy together and still have room. By the way, I acknowledge Ryan Taylor here, my market leader for Operation Hope. I'm getting to you in just a moment. Now, America, how many population? 350 million people, give or take. I'm doing this real quickly so I can stay on schedule. 7 billion people, 350 million people in America, largest economy in the world, 17 trillion. How many companies in America? Not a trick question, 26 million. Out of 26 million companies, how many employ one person or more? 6 million. This starts getting really interesting now. Out of 6 million people, companies that employ one person or more, how many employ more than 10,000 people? 974. And you can name them. And there's a problem that you can name them. Help me out here. Walmart, HP, IBM, PNC, help. Target. You guys are really not a participant. I need to take your black credentials back. So here's what we tell our children. Go through school, K through 12, graduate, do that, perfect. Go to college, graduate, great, do that, and go work for a big company or government, neither of which are hiring. And you wonder why they've lost hope. Because that's not where jobs are coming from. So here's where jobs are coming from. 18,000 companies employ 1,000 to 10,000 people. That's your royalty group. That's the industrial plants you drive by where you don't see the name on the building. Those are the contractors to the big companies. And by the way, anyway, I really wish I had time to get into this, but that's really, in many ways, a Michigan story, these contractors to the automobile manufacturers. Then you've got another group. 70% of all employment in America, 500 employees or less. Half of all employment in America, 100 employees or less. Half. Los Angeles, 12th largest economy in the world. City of LA, 97% of all employment in LA, 100 employees or less. The economy, 70% consumer driven. 70. And 70% of all Americans are living from paycheck to paycheck. I call them the teetering class. Too much month at the end of their money. So what's driving the U.S. economy? It's paying your mortgage, it's paying your car note, it's coming to this conference, it's paying for a ferry charge, it's paying for that iPhone, it's paying for that Android device, it's paying for cell phone time, it's paying for daycare. All these microtransactions are standing up the largest economy in the world. And what's our life every week? Every week you'll get a haircut someplace, right? How many people work in there? What, 4 people? Ladies, you go to a hair salon, a nail salon. How many people work in a nail salon? What? Help me out here. How many in the nail? 8 people? 5 people? You go to a hair salon, ladies. How many people in the hair salon? Working. 15? That's a big hair salon. 6, all right? You go to a dentist, I hope. How many in the dentist's office? 2, 3, 4? You see, it's right in front of you. It's all around you. But we're looking for love in all the wrong places. So what we need to do is to double down, because here's the most shocking statistic. For the first time in our adult life, since they started counting statistics at the census, you got more small business deaths than small business births in America. You have 400,000 small business deaths and 350,000 small business births. But what did I say about business? Every big business was once a. So here's what we're doing to change this, and here's my plan for Detroit and my plan for Michigan. Abraham Lincoln, 1865, March 3rd, after the Civil War and after the Emancipation Proclamation, signed a piece of legislation called the Freedmen's Bureau Act. The Freedmen's Bureau Act created the Freedmen's Bank. The Freedmen's Bank's mission was to teach freed slaves about money. So Lincoln thought the most important thing he could do after freedom was to teach freed slaves about the free enterprise system. But he was killed 5 weeks later. And Frederick Douglass tried to run the bank, put $10,000 of his own money into it, $20 million today. And when it failed, he said the failure of this bank did more to set freed slaves in America back than 10 more years of slavery. And then you pop your fingers and you fast forward 100 years to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and my mentor, Ambassador Andrew Young, on that balcony in Memphis, Tennessee, as Dr. King had embarked upon the Poor People's Campaign. By the way, there are more poor whites in America than poor anybody else, so we're all in this mess together. Dr. King said, I'm here to redeem America from to redeem America, America's soul from the triple evils of war, racism, and poverty. And he had tackled racism and tackled war, and when he moved to poverty, he was killed April of 1968. Same month as Lincoln, by the way. So here's my message to you. It's not like poor people and struggling people and people in the teetering class and the working class, 5 of 7 billion people on this planet got a memo on free enterprise and capitalism and screwed it up. They never got the memo. That's the only thing I want you to remember today. You see, our problems are solvable because the best way to stop a bullet is a job. You don't see middle-class communities rioting. Middle-class folks want to go shopping and spend time with their family. If you deal with class, you get race for free. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish what Lincoln started. We're going to put Hope Inside locations inside of bank branches. We're doing with PNC and other banks, inside of credit unions, grocery stores, big box retailers, houses of faith. We're going to do home ownership counseling and small business and entrepreneurship counseling. The guy that made this suit, I put in business and created 6 jobs as a result of that. We're going to do earned income tax credit certification. I believe there's about $500 million due in the city of Detroit alone every year of EITC investment. That's not a handout, it's a hand up. It's giving people a reward for working. Don't just give them a fish, teach them how to fish. And teach them how to own the lake. But the most important thing to do, I'm out of time, the most important thing we're going to do, now this is going to say, everything I just said, you're going to now write it all off of what I'm about to tell you. This is the most radical thing I have to say to you. What I'm going to do, 4 square block area by 4 square block area, is move credit scores to 700. Now you're scratching your head. But here's what I have to tell you, and I'm done. Nothing changes your life more than God or love than moving your credit score 120 points. And now let's bring it all together now, whether it's a white rural neighborhood, whether it's a black and brown urban neighborhood, or whether it's outside of a military base, which means all races, here's what you see. A check casher next to a payday loan lender, next to a rent-to-own store, next to a title lender, next to a liquor store. That's not racism, ladies and gentlemen. It's target marketing. And they are targeting a 500 credit score customer. It's negative behavioral economics. So I'm going to use the science of positive behavioral economics. I want to use concentrated development on the ground. We're going to drive credit scores to 700, and I'm going to rob these predators of their customers. And when you do that, check cashers become grocery stores. Check cashers become credit unions and banks, and liquor stores become grocery stores, and renters become homeowners, and small business dreamers become small business owners, and jobs start getting created. And by the way, when you jobs create creators, you start becoming stakeholders, and stakeholders then vote. And when you vote, You have a democracy. When you have a democracy, you have stability. And when all boats rise, you actually have a generation of young people who have said, I can do as good or better as my parents have done. And that is the current challenge today because our kids don't believe that. So ladies and gentlemen, we can do this. But it starts with you believing we can. It starts with leveling the playing field of opportunity and freeing up free enterprise for all and finishing what Lincoln started. I'm done.
Ladies